today, defendant Joop Bollen has entered a plea of guilty to count 1 of the indictment that alleges essentially that in February of 2012 he had misused or disposed of a security interest that was designed to protect the state. It was in the amount of $300,000. Those funds were ultimately used to purchase TIF bonds here in Brown County. That as part of the plea, it is a felony, that he had accepted responsibility, admitted wrongdoing. Ultimately, it was a determination of the court that there was enough information through the motion practice, including the motion to dismiss, for the court to issue a sentencing today. As a further condition of the plea agreement, Mr. Bollen agreed to cooperate with the state to testify honestly and truthfully if there's a need for any future proceedings. And at this time, the court did issue a suspended imposition of sentence. As part of the sentence, Mr. Bollen will be on 2 years probation, and I certainly can answer any questions that you have. You know, what I can say at this point, of course, is I think everybody's aware that the state had prepared a complaint and is moving forward on calling a grand jury in relation to Mr. Benda and his activities, that the state has moved forward on this felony indictment, that there was a plea today and a sentencing. I think that generally speaking, there have been other investigations talked about. What I can say is the only investigation that has produced any charges is that of the Attorney General. We know that the Department of Justice openly talked about its activity and investigation because this is a federal program and there were no DOJ charges forthcoming. We know that the United States Attorney here in South Dakota has not moved forward any differently than the Attorney General charges. We know that the FBI had publicly talked about its investigation. So what I can tell you is in relation to only the Attorney General's investigation, but that we moved forward and we're preparing to move forward on 2 cases. Those are treated as separate cases, as the court indicated today. We have certainly reserved the right in the plea agreement that if we do move forward with anything else, that Mr. Bollen, conditioned upon this agreement, must cooperate and testify truthfully. As for any other investigations, you know, I would leave that up to the Department of Justice, the United States Attorney, and the FBI, again recognizing that the only investigation and prosecution entity that has moved forward on either the Benda or the Bollen matter has been the Attorney General.